Hello and welcome to my video review for the Xbox 360 wireless racing wheel, which I bought for $69.99 and I've had it for around 2 weeks now. That's the box. Got it set up over here, so I'll just take you to the wheel itself. And what we're going to deal with first of all is how it actually looks and feels. So the wheel itself is very nice to look at. It's got nice details in the wheel itself. You've got the detailing in the center of it here. You've got a nice chrome end to the wheel here, a nice chrome bridge. It feels very nice and sturdy. It doesn't feel cheap and plasticky at all. It feels solid. It's got a nice shape to it, a nice design. You've got some nice detailing in it, as like we said before. If you go around the back here, it's got the Xbox 360 logo engraved into the casing on the back. Quite a nice cool design. Okay, so it's a nice looking piece of kit. The pedals similarly, they look very nice. Again, you've got the Xbox 360 logo engraved into the casing for the pedals there as well, so it looks very good. Okay, in terms of the actual feel, you've got a rubberized grip. It probably won't show up on the video very well, but it's all rubber and it does feel very nice to the touch. It's got quite a good grip to it, so as you're turning the wheel, it does turn very smoothly, very nicely. You've got the gear stick paddles here on the back. It's a shame there isn't a gear stick, but the pedals will have to do really. If you had a gear stick, it would have been pretty cool. The pedals as well have got quite a nice feel to them. They spring back into position nicely. They don't put too much resistance, but then again they're not too easy to push down as well. And the brake pedal is pretty much the same. You've got your standard D-pad here as a controller. You've got the guide button. You've got your normal 4 keys. The gear pedals act as the left button and right button respectively, and the pedals act as the right trigger and left trigger. What you don't obviously have are the joysticks, the analog joysticks, so you couldn't really use it as a standard controller unless it was a simple basic game that doesn't use them. And down here we have your slot for your live headset. Okay, so very nice looking and it feels very good as well. It doesn't feel cheap or plasticky. It feels like it's been well made, and it feels and looks quite expensive as well. So it's okay, so some of you guys out there might be wondering what force feedback actually means and how does it work. Basically, what it means is it does obviously have a vibration function, but that's not really what the force feedback is. What it basically means is as you're driving around and taking corners, what it will do is feed the information from the surface tension of the road and the tyres back through the wheel. So, for example, if I'm turning the wheel this way, but I've got understeer, the car will be trying to turn the opposite way. So as I'm turning, the motors will be pushing the wheel the opposite direction because that's the direction that the tyres want to turn. So as I'm losing grip, so I'll have to push it harder, I'll have to push it even harder, and you can feel it's a lot more difficult to turn the wheel because the motors are pushing the wheel in the other direction. So it's a very, very good effect, and it adds a lot more to the game. So you could literally not even be looking at the screen and you could know which way the tyres are pointing, which direction they're in. And which direction they want to go, so you can feel the oversteer, you can feel the understeer, and that's really the main thing of the wheel, the force feedback, which really does work very, very well. You've got some steering wheels as well, which always, as you turn the wheel, once you let go, it always tries to auto-correct the central position. Now, that's really annoying because if you've got obviously a game where you've got continuous turns left and right, you've got say figure of 8 track. If it's always trying to return to the central position, then it's going to be quite annoying. And this doesn't do that really. It just goes with the surface tension of the road and the way that you're pushing it yourself. So the force feedback really is the main thing of the wheel. It does work very, very well. And you can feel really the oversteer and understeer, and it really does add to the experience. And if you kind of see yourself as a bit of a pro gamer, it adds a lot more information that you can't really feel through the normal standard control pad. Okay, so we've actually got the wheel turned on now and set up, and we've got it set up with Project Gotham 4. That is actually a 42-inch HD TV, but for some reason it looks about 20-inch on the video. Project Gotham 4 is set up with, which is probably the best game that it works with. I've tried it with quite a few, Forza 2, the Burnout games, quite a few different racing games, Sega Rally as well, but it definitely works the best and is most fun with the Project Gotham games. Now what I'm going to try and do first of all is just show you how the force feedback works. Now it has obviously got rumble vibration, so if you crash it'll shake and it'll provide some resistance, but what's pretty difficult to explain and convey in a video without actually trying the wheel for yourself is actually how the wheel conveys the tension on the road and through the tyres with the force feedback. So the way I want to try and do this is basically drive up to some rumble strips on the side of the road and show you how the wheel shakes, like such. Now if you crash, as you can see there, I've into the barrier, the wheels obviously on the game of the car have turned, and so does the steering wheel. Now if I reverse, the wheel will auto-correct. So the motors inside the steering wheel are very sensitive and very, very accurate. They work very, very well. You can use the wheel on the top of your lap. You've got the kind of bridges here which will curve over, but it does work a hell of a lot better on a table using the clamp there, which just clamps underneath. Very basic device. The wheel as well doesn't just stop here, turning 180. It turns a full 240 degrees, as you can see, which allows for a lot more precise control. And if you're playing a game like Sega Rally, it allows you to throw it around a bit more. It's a bit more fun. And even on Project Gotham as well, you need to throw it around quite a lot. As we said before, the feel of the pedals is really great. It gives you the precision that you need. And again, the only downside you can say really is the lack of a gear stick. And the pedals, although they do the job, they haven't really got quite a good click to them when you press them. They are a bit soft, you could say. So all I need to do really now is just give you some footage of me actually playing Project Gotham. If you can see the TV, which looks way in the distance, but it is really close to me. So pass it on to my assistant here. Okay, so that's the end of the video review. I hope you found it useful. Overall, it's a really good wheel, very well made, really good to play. If you've got games like Project Gotham and Forza that you've completed, if you get the wheel and give them another bash, it gives it a whole new lease of life. For $69.99, it's very well made, and it's an excellent piece of kit for a reasonable price.